I got the game right behind me. You see him? Dirt bike life. Nah, but for real, the topic of today's video, I want to talk about putting on a mask. And I don't mean literally putting on a mask. I mean putting on a mask in a sense that you're acting like you don't know shit when you really know shit. And I'm gonna just use me as an example, right? Sometimes I catch myself being too overt with trying to let people know the type of person I am. Like sometimes, for example, at work, I put this out, like I just wear it like this when I'm at work. Now I don't really see anybody say anything. I don't really get any looks or anything like that, but when I really think about it, because I've been really thinking about it recently, I'm like, yo, I don't know if I really want to show off my crystal. And not for the sense that I don't want people to know, or not for the sense that I'm not proud of it and that I don't like it and that I don't want to show it off to people. But it's mainly due to the fact that I don't want people to know who I am and what I'm about, because I feel like if you tell too much about yourself to somebody, if you show your hands too much, if you just show them your cards, if you just show every single thing about yourself, that could ultimately come back to bite you in the ass. You never know who you're telling information to. You never know who you're talking to. You never know whose ears are open to what you have to say. And that's something that I gotta remind myself, because there's some shit that I post on my social media. Like recently, there's stuff that I post on my social media that I'm like, all right, yeah, it's not, there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself, right? But just realize who you're expressing yourself to, because the people you're expressing yourself to, 9 times out of 10, they don't, damn, I just hit that pothole hard as fuck. 9 times out of 10, they don't understand where you're coming from, so they just might look at it completely off. Like they just might blow things completely out of proportion, and they might try to like look at you in a different lens, and they might try to, talk negative about you, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I've become numb to it, because I realize like your whole life people are going to talk about you. There's nothing you can really do. It's just part of the game. But back to what I was saying, right? Even me, like I post things sometimes and I just think to myself, maybe I shouldn't be posting this, because I'm so used to just being on this platform. You see, everybody on this platform, we're all kind of on the same page as far as seeking the truth and just being united and just being open-minded. But people on Instagram, it's just people that just know me personally, and they don't see things like I see things, which is not bad. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because part of not having everybody see the same things as you is gaining perspective through other people. So I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it becomes bad when it gets to the wrong people. When you say something to the wrong crowd, when you say something to the wrong person, or when the wrong person catches on to what you say, they could ultimately use that against you. So everything that I'm trying to say, right, and I'm gonna add this in here too, I know a lot, right? I don't want to make it seem like I know everything. I know a lot for an 18-year-old. Behind this camera, if you were to meet me in person, we could go way more in depth, way more in detail, way deeper. We could talk about things that should not be talked about on YouTube. I only give y'all, let me choose my words carefully. I only give y'all bits and pieces of information for you to take and do whatever you want with that information. I don't like to go too deep into topics, because I already showed my face. So if I go too deep into a topic, like for an example, if I were to go deep into adrenochrome or child trafficking, I would get fucking tucked in. I would get put away. I would get murked. I'd be KIA'd. I'd be dead if I were to talk about that. So I'm gonna leave that to the people that are already doing it. And those people are already doing a good job at doing it. So why do I have to step in and act like, So I'm going to leave that to them. But my main role is just giving y'all information trying to help y'all and motivating y'all to do what you want to do. And take whatever I say as you will, do your own research, like I always say in every one of my videos. But I say all that to say this: you don't want to show too much of yourself. You don't want to show your cards. You don't want to show too much. You don't want to say too much, all right? You never want to say too much, all right? You just want to sit back and observe and just watch things, man. And I'm gonna bring this up too. Not recently, but I think about 1 or 2 months ago on my channel, I said that I used to talk to myself out loud. I still do that, but I kind of blew that a proportion. I made it seem like I do that every single day, 24 hours. No, I don't do that every single day. Most of the time I sit in silence. Most of the time I just talk to myself in my head. And there's no difference. You can talk to yourself in your head or out loud. There's no difference. But as of recently, I've realized, like, you don't want to say too much. You don't even want to talk out loud, because you may say the wrong things. And sometimes it's better to just sit back and observe and just get in tune with your soul and just not get too attached to this physical reality. Because as soon as you start talking, as soon as you start expressing emotion, you're already like plugged into the matrix. But if you could just wake up one day and just not talk at all and just be tuned in and silent, not saying a word, that's when you're the most tuned in to who you truly are. That's when you're most tuned into your soul. So I know I'm all over the place in this video. I just want to give y'all the importance of just not saying too much, all right? Because saying too much, and unfortunately, it's the way it is. Like, I wanted to come out here, I wanted to say everything that was on my mind, try to expose every little detail. But I've realized, like, there's consequences that comes with that, and there's a price you got to pay when you talk about certain things. So I'd rather just not do it. I love my life. I love the people around me. I need to see at least like 40 or 50. You know, I don't want to die too young. So I'm not going to take that risk as far as talking about deep topics. But yeah, I mean, back to the main point, just put on a mask. Not all the time, but just know when to put on a mask. Know when to play. Know when to act dumb. Know when to stoop down to certain people's brain frequency. Know when to stoop down to certain people's level of thinking. Know when to play a role. Know when to play an act. You know, you don't want to show too much of yourself. You don't want to show all your cards. Have a mystique about yourself. So that's something that I've learned throughout just being alive for 18 years. And I wanted to bring it to y'all. So I hope y'all could use that to help you. If y'all let this video motivated, if y'all let this video inspired, or if you let this video a better person, then I did my part. Other than that, peace, love, positivity. I love y'all. Take care of yourself. Peace.